welcome back to Closet Confidential. I'm Courtney Smith, and this week I'm chatting to fashion editor Sarah Macken, who describes her style as coastal grandma. Let's go have a look. Sarah, thank you for having me in your beautiful coastal home. I am obsessed with your wardrobe. I always have been. I love how fun and eclectic it is, but I know you have sometimes kind of referred to it as coastal grandma, and I love that because what does that mean to you? What's the definition of coastal grandma when it comes to style?
Well, I'm probably saying it being a little bit tongue-in-cheek, but I mean, and when I look at this rail, I'm like, it's probably not too much coastal grandma, it's a bit more of a mix, but I mean, to define that aesthetic, it's kind of like, you know, you're wearing like your lovely blue pinstripe shirt, and maybe you're like walking on the beach and you've like nice, it's very like comfort driven maybe, and kind of cozy. Maybe you're wearing a nice soft pair of trousers and you have like, you know, some kind of wicker accessory.
I love it.
You know, you're going back to your beautiful house on the beach. So that's probably where it comes from. As the TikTokers probably would say, they're obviously very big into it. But for me, I just always am drawn to those kind of movies like Nancy Meyer's films, and they all have these beautiful houses. And yeah, that's kind of where the whole aesthetic comes from. But as I look at the rail, as you kind of pointed out, like, yeah, it's definitely not just one thing.
I feel like there's been a bit of a style evolution since I've known you, and since your years as a fashion editor. I think
do you think so?
Well, yeah, I wonder if you do, because I feel like when we first met, you were probably more kind of like Alexa Chung vibes, like a lot of leopard print, still a lot of denim, which I feel like you still do.
Yeah.
And I feel like your style aesthetic is a little bit more pretty now, and maybe you pick up on pieces, not that you style it always pretty, like it's cool pretty, but the pieces are pretty. Like, look at this, like, so this little piece here, which is just absolutely stunning, like all the embellishment and the ruffle, but I can imagine you styling that with like a cool trench coat and a pair of denim jeans. But these pieces that you put into your wardrobe, whether they're floral or gingham or like polka dot, that's where that aesthetic comes in.
Yeah. It's interesting that you pick up on prints, because in a weird way, I am a prints person and I am into prints person. I always say I gravitate towards classic prints, and by classic I don't mean like prim or proper or anything like that, but to me a classic print is like, it's a leopard print, it's striped, it's a certain type of floral print that's not too busy, it's polka dots.
They're never going to go out of fashion.
And they're timeless to me, and like, you know, to some people are like, oh, leopard print really, but like to me that's timeless and almost like a staple.
It's a neutral,
at this point,
fully,
it is, in my wardrobe. So yeah, that would definitely be the things
piece.
that link between. That is from Stan Studio. I got that in a sale on the outlet a little while ago, and yeah, I always have a leopard print coat in my wardrobe.
Same.
And it was a little bit of an investment, but I always, like, it's just something I know I'll wear to death, and I don't mind investing a bit of money, like, you know, in a mid-range piece like that, when I know it'll just get, you know, worn 24/7. Like, the cost per wear on it is, if you were to actually work it would be quite good.
I'm definitely a cost per wear kind of girl. I like how you think.
Actually sit down and do that calculation, I don't know, but we like to say it to make ourselves feel good about making investments. But
definitely,
yeah, I mean, it probably has evolved. I mean, I would always say Alexa is someone everyone looks up to.
Is she one of your style icons, or is there somebody else that you might?
She can't do
wrong.
She can't do wrong. Like, my wardrobe isn't filled with designer pieces. I don't have loads of designer bags. People probably are thinking, oh, a fashion editor would be like, you know, having designer this and really high end that, and I don't know, I've never worked that way. I like pieces for what I like. I'm not a huge logo person. I like the odd logo. I think I gravitate more towards like a sensibility in a piece rather than it being premium or high end. And while I can definitely appreciate high end pieces, and I try to invest more in pieces that will be of good quality and, you know, kind of conscious in their way of being made. Yeah, I think it's definitely a mix, and sometimes I can find as much value in like a piece that, like, you know, this is from a secondhand or a charity shop. I think it's Second Female or one of those.
What would be your biggest splurge?
This is probably a really boring answer, but like, it really varies. I'm not huge into logos. Like, I like a couple when in the right instance. Yeah, I just think I gravitate maybe towards different pieces, and sometimes it could be a really great mid-range piece, or maybe it is a piece I invest in, but I think there's maybe a sensibility that links through things and something that will just kind of speak to me that I will know I will just wear over and over. And I think that's the instance when I look at something that's like maybe a red stripy top and I'm like, that's an investment, but I will, you know, that's
like
the
this
kind of piece that suits to me all the time. I'm not afraid to spend my money then and invest like that in that sense. But I'm not necessarily buying and trading in, you know, certain designer handbags as, you know, for resale. I'm not saying I never will do that, but that's not the way it's worked out for me so far.
But you know what? I find that really refreshing because I do feel like you're somebody that definitely wears their wardrobe. Like everything here that's on your rail, I have seen you wear.
Yeah.
And time again. So, you know, that's not to say that there aren't expensive pieces here. Like, you know, Stan Studio probably starts at €500. They're investment pieces, but they're pieces that live in your wardrobe that you will wear time after time. It's not like you're spending thousands on something that's going to sit in your wardrobe.
Yeah, I don't think I'm the kind of girl who, well, for multiple reasons, but I don't think I'm the kind of girl who can just have a thing living in a dust bag. Like, I try to take really good care of things. It's not that I'm careless and I want my things to last forever, and I'll bring things to get mended, and, you know, I'll do like specialist dry cleaning if something needs that. But I'm also like, you know, clothes are there to be worn as well, and I'll just wear them, and like if it gets a stain, oh well, or, you know, like it's all part and parcel of it. They're for living in. And even with like my wedding dresses, like I've reworn them on multiple occasions. Oh yeah, and I recently rewore one of them, my Simone Rocha dress. I went to the Lismore Opera. I was very lucky, the start of the summer, and you know, how could you, if you own a Simone Rocha dress, only wear it once in your life? Like, I want to wear this
every
all
day.
the time, on multiple occasions, and it doesn't take away from it feeling any less special. Now, don't get me wrong, I wouldn't want to wear it to the point where it becomes a regular thing, and I also wouldn't have the, you know, the actual occasions to go to. But
this is a pair of Converse just down the shop for a coffee.
I mean, that's what people were doing during lockdown, but I feel like it's still special every time.
Yeah. Do you have a sentimental piece in your wardrobe that will always bring you back to a special memory? I'm assuming it's your...
I would probably choose this one.
Okay.
This is the dress I wore when we got married in New York. It's
I remember the photos, it was so beautiful.
It's Cecily Banson. She's a Danish designer.
Stunning. Very you.
Very me, and I think I'm really fond of it. I mean, I'm so fond of this one, but I think for me, when we had a wedding in Ireland and it was a bit more like proper, you know, we had like a really nice dress, and, you know, we had our family and friends. It was quite relaxed, but, you know, when we did our vows, it was just myself and my husband, and I didn't really get dressed in a way that you do for a wedding that's quite self-conscious and aware of how something might look on camera or be perceived. You know, like, you can't help but be self-conscious when it's a decision like that.
Yeah.
Like, they're photos you're going to see for the rest of your life, or just, you know, there is that expectation of what a bride should be, whether or not you believe you can fall prey to it. Everyone is a bit susceptible. And I think when I chose this, I just was being really selfish, and it's just something I really liked. I didn't want to think about how I would look in it that much, or sorry, let's say that again.
Yeah.
It's not that I didn't want to think about how I would look in it, but, you know, I just chose it because it was really for me, and it was a piece that just really on gut instinct I gravitated towards. And it's fun and it's frivolous, and like, it's not that traditional, but then also in a sense to me it is a bit traditional, because I think of like Mia Farrow when I see this, and those kind of short white dresses she would have worn in the 1960s.
Yeah.
So it has longevity, but then also Cecily Banson is a designer who is quite contemporary as well. So it's a really nice mix, and I wore it with a pair of jelly sandals because, again, I was
These, is it?
Yeah, being
oh
me.
My god.
And again, probably not very conventional, but it just
So
was fun
cute.
and comfortable,
Yeah.
and a bit frivolous, and yeah,
You
it takes me straight back to being in New York, you know, when I
a
see
special
it.
moment.
Yeah.
You speak with such passion about clothes and style. Obviously, you work in the industry, but like, how important is it to you for your mood? Like, because I know for me, when I get dressed up, when I put an outfit on, it can change my entire day and my outlook on the day. Do you think like that? Do you gravitate towards clothes that you know or feel good, that are going to make you, I don't know, more productive or happy or whatever? Because like the way you speak about clothes, it really does, like, you bring them to life. And I know that's part of your job, but also just as a person, as a human.
Do you know what? I think if you had asked me this like 2 years ago, I probably would have been like, oh, I don't know, like, you know, but that was also a period in my life where I was pretty much getting dressed up nearly all the time. I mean, I worked in-house in a magazine, I was going to events, I was at an office all day long. You know, I was always kind of on in that sense. And then lockdown, when that just kind of put a stop to all of that stuff. I was at home, I was not going out, I was not getting dressed up, and it really made me reassess. I threw out about half my wardrobe during lockdown. I was really like, I just did a huge purge. I kind of thought, I was like, I'm never going to be into wearing blazers again. I'm never going to be into wearing those formal kind of pieces. And then surprise, surprise, I'm now craving a blazer this season. But my point would be that now I do see how there is real value in that. Not that I didn't see value in it before, but I didn't really feel that. Like I didn't really connect how, yeah, clothing does actually alter my mood. I knew I liked things and that they looked nice. But now when I work remotely now a lot of the time, I definitely want to get dressed.
Can we talk about your Rixo obsession? Because I too am a Rixo girl. I wore one of their dresses like before they'd launched in Ireland, and it became a very quick obsession. And I know you've got like at least 3 or 4 on this rail. What is it about this brand? I mean, I love how they've kind of taken that vintage look and given it a modern feel, and I know they now do vintage on the side as well, which is amazing. I saw you in this recently, absolutely gorgeous. What is it about Rixo? Because obviously it is a brand that you keep investing in.
You know what, it's funny because I think I said earlier that like I'm not a huge print person, but then when it comes, obviously the DNA of Rixo is prints, but again, maybe it's because they're vintage, they have a classic sensibility to them that I can relate to, and they're not too hyper digital or anything like that. They're not headachy, they're busy, but they're not headachy. And I think they, Orla and Henrietta do an incredible job at making pieces that flatter women, and I think they know the power of a good dress in a woman's wardrobe, and I think they know the versatility that a dress can lend, in someone's wardrobe. Colour appeals to me as well. When I was a kid, I was really pale and I had mousy brown hair, and people always told me never to wear black. And I think I just always inherited that as well. I carried it with me a bit, so that's why I don't really have much black in my wardrobe. So,
and colour can be a mood booster as well. But I just think these are absolutely stunning, like the little tea dresses, the kind of the 60s shape of that. Super flattering, gorgeous high neck as well. They do such a great job with beautiful, simple. They're not simple, but beautiful dresses, simple shapes with interesting prints. I think
it's funny that you talk about body shape as well, because if you have a larger chest, not all dresses are going to fit you. And as much as I would love to walk around in a little slip dress, and channel like a 90s Kate Moss, that's not going to work for my body shape. Whereas pieces like this, they have a cap sleeve. If you don't want to show off too much up here, like they work perfectly, and then it balances out. This is like a more of a Sharon Tate little micro mini, then you can show off another part of your body that you're comfortable with, or it's all balanced. It's not giving away too much on top and on bottom. So I think they also do that quite well, and they do quite a lot of different styles, and you can kind of find your own, and they'll repeat it then and update then a dress in a different pattern if the shape suits your figure. So
I came in being like coastal grandma, and like you love Peter Pan collars and you love print and all this, but actually it does show the evolution of your wardrobe and how much fun you have with it, because like you said, you have a lot of different references there. You love patent leather, you love denim, but then you also love all these pretty pieces, and you're marrying them together to create your own vibe, and I love that. Thank you so much for having me. I'll see you soon.
Anytime.